your gram from across the room. I see your patience are short with all these dancing fools. I see that you're the type of girl that likes a tattoo. I seen the way you looked at me when I came walking through. So don't hesitate, blow a single night left alone. And don't let the night go, no, don't let it go. Don't wanna be a freak, I wanna make you scream. Come get it like a freak. Take my hand, we had it till we're weak. No, life's just like a dream. Come and get it like a freak. Take my hand.
All right, and we are back. This is our first show of 2020, our first live show of 2020. We've been really busy. We've been kind of on hiatus. We've had a lot of recorded shows, and we've been playing a lot of reruns. Well, it's not the first live show this year, but we've been really busy, so we've been doing that. But we do, first and foremost, let me welcome back my former co-host. Well, she wasn't former. She was here. She had, she had school and everything else that she had going on, so she took a step back a little bit to concentrate on that. But we have Kelsey is back as my co-host, so we want to welcome her. And that does not mean, of course, that Brianna is not helping us out, although tonight she is actually going to be taking care of our wee ones and whatnot with the virus going around and everything. Everybody's worried about that stuff. We've got some other things that we've got to do, so she's kind of taking care of some things on that end, keeping in contact with family, make sure they're doing well. But we have a really cool guest this week. We have some cool music by a friend of ours, Brad Cox with Veterans Avenue. So, again, I want to welcome Kelsey back. Thank you for coming back. We're so happy to have you back.
Thanks for having me back. I can't even tell you how much of a part of me felt like it was missing not having our weekly chats.
Our weekly chats. Okay. By the fireplace with my cup of hot cocoa. And, So you were going back to school and everything like that. You were doing all that stuff and job change and whatnot, but things have kind of settled down. So you're ready to jump back into it. So like I said, we're really happy to see you. So tell us, who do we have on the show this week?
This week we have the never hotter Rosie Rockabilly. She's oh my gosh, I can't even begin to explain. She does so much nonprofit work. She's in a calendar where the proceeds go to Special Operations Warrior Foundation. She really, promotes what she cares about. She's in it for the community, for the environment. She's just one hot fucking bitch. I can't really say much more, but yeah, she's awesome. We've got Brad Cox music with the Veterans Avenue, Lead Pistol. I don't know. It's just I couldn't ask for a better show to come back on. That's awesome.
Well, we're glad to have you. And this week's show will probably be a little bit longer, just because we have a lot to talk about. We've been, away a little bit on, not being able to do live shows and everything going on, especially over the last, 3-4 weeks with everything going on. But we felt that we needed to get back into it, do a live show, and Kelsey was ready to jump back into it, so we felt the timing was great. So we're glad to be back, and we thank our friends here at WBUZ 95 and the Orange Radio app for having us on their stations and on their apps and everything. So that's really, really cool. And of course, be sure to check us out on Facebook and on Instagram. So make sure you check us out there. Pretty easy to find us. Just type in the Twisted Hour and you're going to find us. So we're going to step away for a minute here, and we're going to be back with Rosie Rockabilly here in just a couple of minutes. So hang tight.
Leah, the Black Bud Barbie from the Twisted Angels Australia, bringing you the thunder from down under. Tune in to the Twisted Hour here on WBUZ 95, Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. on the Orange Radio app or WBUZ95.com. Peace.
7-figure grand from.
All right, I lied. It's less than a minute, but you know it is what it is. But we're back. We are with Rosie Rockabilly. She is a Twisted Angel. She is a pinup model. That's what she's known for most of the time. Although she does a lot of different, types of modeling as well, different styles. So, and she used to be in New York City. You were born in Pennsylvania, where I live, and then you moved to New York and you lived there for a long time, and now you moved to Arizona. So, before we get into all the other stuff, tell us a little bit what's the biggest difference, obviously other than weather, that you've noticed between New York and Arizona.
The biggest difference, the beautiful scenery. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely gorgeous out here in Arizona. I love it. I feel like I'm on this extended vacation. I wake up every day, the sun is shining. It's absolutely beautiful. It does a lot for the mood. But still a little gloom and doom back on the East Coast.
Oh yeah.
But it's absolutely beautiful out here. I think weather is the biggest change being out here. So
yeah, we had freezing rain here today. That sucked.
I heard
That
it was
sucked.
snowing at the house in New York. So
Yeah. Unbelievable. And again, we touched on it in the intro. Kelsey's back, so I'm going to let Kelsey take over a little bit here. I know she spent a little time talking with Rosie prior to getting ready for the show and everything, so they were doing a lot of that. So, Kelsey, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away, and I'll just kind of join in every now and then. So, take it away.
yeah, what's up? I'm so happy to be back. Hi, Rosie. Hi there.
Oh, she froze up on us. Her first day back, she froze up. Oh no! Oh my goodness. Well, we'll give her a minute to come back in and join us here. She'll kick out and she'll be back with us in a minute. But we'll talk a little bit about how long I've known you've been with the Twisted Angels now for going on 2 years.
Yes.
It's going to be going. It's going on 2 years, I think. And you have. Let me see. You've done a couple of events with us. There was the Baltimore Tattoo Convention. We did a shoot down there, which we did some stuff for pinups for pit bulls.
Yeah,
At that
that's
point,
right.
we did that. And but you do a bunch of other stuff right now. Other than that, I mean, your big thing is you do the pinup thing is like kind of like your main thing, if you will. But then you do some other stuff too. But as part of your pinup, though, you're doing a lot of these really cool car shows.
I am.
So
Yeah.
tell us about that.
So I started out basically pinup was the genre I started out in, and did car shows all over the East Coast, and I'm still continuing to do car shows out here in Arizona. I've been involved with the biggest show I've been involved with out here is SEMA, which was actually like one of my bucket list things to do. So I was involved with SEMA with one of the companies that I'm a brand ambassador for, which is Rods by Ludwin. I've also done the Good Guys car show. We did the fall Southwest Nationals here in November. Unfortunately, Spring Nationals was just canceled. It was supposed to be last weekend. I'm also going to be appearing at the Rockabilly Bash. That was going to be scheduled for this coming weekend. That's been postponed till May 1st and 2nd, but I will be at the Rockabilly Bash. As far as East Coast, I will be back on the East Coast, tentatively, depending on how schedules and things go and, things getting canceled or postponed. But I'll be in Syracuse, New York on May 23rd for the second annual Sparky's Memorial Car Show and Benefit. And then I'll be back in New York in Syracuse again for Syracuse Nationals in July 17th through the 19th. So those are some of the pinup things that I have coming up. Again, tentative schedules with everything kind of going on right now.
Now, what got you, how did you get linked up with doing the shows?
So, it's kind of a funny story. My husband was down at one of our local automotive places I think he was getting new tires on the car.
Okay.
And he of a car show that was going to have live pinup girls at it. And of course, we have a classic car. Many people know, we have an old El Camino. And so he came home with the poster and he said, hey, wouldn't it be a hoot if you got dressed up and we went to the car show with the car? And at first I thought, like, you're absolutely crazy. Like, no, I'm not going to get dressed up. Yeah, let's go to the car show, but I'm not going to get dressed up. Well, enough of, kind of let's do this, and him encouraging me. And I was like, okay, fine. So dressed up, in this pinup, went to the car show. There was 3 other, what they called live pinup girls, posing with cars and taking pictures. And, within about a photographer, basically kind of chased me down with his business card and he said, hey, like, I really want to start doing something like this. You're exactly the look I'm looking for. And the rest is history. That's when Rosie Rockabilly was born.
Now, how long have you been doing the car shows?
It's been about 8 years.
Oh, wow.
That I've been doing, yeah. So it's been, and in the beginning, that's all I did. Everything was just all the car shows, parades, events, and then that ended up leading us into doing charity events and veterans organizations and all sorts of nonprofit. We've done things at like Autism Speaks, the MS Foundation, Honor Flight, which, I don't know if they have an Honor Flight everywhere, but East Coast is pretty popular for Honor Flight. We did the Southern Tier Honor Flight program. Yeah. But, so that's kind of how I got started.
That's awesome. All right, so Kelsey's back now. So she said we froze and she just kept on talking. So
so for like a solid 30 seconds, my camera was like, "You're fine, just keep going."
Yeah, we were saying, oh, she froze. So we're going to talk about how you got involved with doing the pinup stuff with the cars and stuff. So. But now, were you modeling? Were you doing other modeling prior to getting that kickoff into doing the car shows? Were you doing pinup modeling before that, or were you just doing? Never. Did you do any modeling at all prior to that, or no?
So when I was 16 years old, my dad was a race car driver.
Oh my God, that was the dark ages.
Dark ages. So, I kind of grew up in the garage, turning wrenches with my dad, and we would go to the racetrack, and just for, like, shits and giggles, I got, put my bikini on and posed next to his sprint car, and, like, it went crazy. So that was the only thing I ever did, but, no, I never did any modeling, and it took my husband convincing me for weeks to get dressed up and go do this.
And the support from that end.
Well, that's why, Kelsey. I mean, you've never met them, but that's why everybody really just we all get to know Rosie just because we like her husband. So she's just like she's like the bystander. We just all get in there to hang out with Johnny, and for us guys, it's only because of the fact that he's a manly man and he's got a really nice man car because he drives those really big construction vehicles. So, and we just think it's cool because when we were kids, we got to play with like the dump trucks, the Tonka trucks he pushed around in the backyard in the dirt and everything, and he gets to play with them in real life. So So we just like to hang out with somebody who gets to play with Tonka trucks as an adult. But anyway, so I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna let Kelsey get back to what she was saying for 30 seconds before she realized she had been cut off. So go ahead, Kelsey, take it away, hon.
It like minute 90.
You have a calendar that's already out. And the profits go to Special Operations Warrior Foundation, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
So how did you get involved with that? And I mean, was it initially from the start, was it a nonprofit kind of event, or did it have that purpose from the start? Like, was that the motivation behind it?
So every calendar that I have done has always had a nonprofit that I give the proceeds to, and every year I like it to be a veteran-based organization. So last year's calendar was Wounded Warrior Foundation. This year I connected with Tattoo Source One. And he led me to a couple of the charities that he likes to use, and the one that really, really stole my heart was the Special Ops Warrior Foundation. The videos, I think we're going to be posting some of the links to the Special Ops so people can watch them, but the videos are so moving. What these families are doing for our country, and sadly when they do lose their life, this company or this organization is coming in and helping put their children through college, helping these families reach their goals, even though their loved one had passed while serving our country. So this charity really, really stole my heart. So I'm really, really passionate about the calendar doing well this year and, giving back to the Special Ops Warrior Foundation.
That's amazing.
Yeah, if I could interject, I mean, Yager from Tattoo One Source, he's the guy that owns that, and they're one of our biggest, supporters as far as the Twisted Angels is concerned, and obviously here with the radio station. But when Rosie came to me and was asking about different ideas for different charities, I said, well, hey, let me check with Yager because he may have a couple in mind. And I knew that he had served in special ops himself. So when he came back with a couple different ones, including the one that Rosie selected that she wanted to do, and it just without any real push towards it, that just happens to be the same one that Yager really he really supports that one, and that's probably the one that's nearest and dearest to his heart. So when I told him that that's the one she selected, he was really excited and very happy about that. Yager's probably one he's really good people and down to earth, straight shooter. No pun intended, because it is pun intended. But but he's really cool, and he really is very appreciative and very supportive of Twisted Angels, and of course of Rosie, and he's going to help certainly push the calendar as well. It actually drops on Wednesday because it was going through another publisher that they kind of dropped the ball on it. Rosie came to me and asked me to help her put it together. But we've had some hiccups in that too, with everybody uses MagCloud and everything like that, and they have a template on their page for you to work with, but they can't support the template. So we've had some hiccups with that, but that should be all set and ready to go by tomorrow, so we can do the official launch of it on Wednesday. So we should be good to go. So we're good there. So, the reason I say Wednesday is because, as most of you know, we do pre-record the show, so it's now Monday. So by Wednesday, we could be playing to countries that are no longer in existence. Who knows with the virus? But anyway, so that was my interjection on the calendar, and I'll let Kelsey. Yeah, really, I know, right? So, all right, Kelsey, what else did you have for Rosie for us?
Well, before the next topic, I do just kind of want to know, out of curiosity, Rosie, I mean, do you have like a personal connection to the military or special ops or Wounded Warrior, or was it just the videos and promotions of the nonprofits that like really touched you?
Well, there's a couple answers to that. So I personally have no connection to anyone in my family who has served. Probably the closest connection would be my father's father served as a Marine. But as far as like immediately within my kids and my family, I don't have a personal connection. But I do, my role model per se would be Rosie the Riveter. So I'm a history buff. I love Rosie the Riveter. I love that we can do it spirit. I appear as Rosie the Riveter at many events all over. I've spoken at schools and summer camps and empowered young kids about Rosie the Riveter, World War
for too, and what women did at that time. So as I started getting into the pinup community, and so many of the people and the car guys and the people was meeting were still connected to the military. A lot of the bikers that we do things with, and I just felt that's where I fit and where I could make the most difference. And I connected with so many of the different organizations and charities that were connected along with the military. That being said, there's also many other charities that are not military related that I do a lot for, but for big projects like the calendars and some of the pictures and things that I do, I like to give back to our country.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. I was an Army brat. Both my mom and my dad were in the Army. My mom for 33 years and my dad for 29. So we grew up in a super patriotic family. It explains some of my rebellion.
I think I lost you.
My attitude.
Well, we can hear you, Rosie, and you're still moving around. So, and I can still see Kelsey. Kelsey's still moving. She's good.
Okay, I couldn't hear what she was saying, so.
Oh, she was just explaining that her family was she was an Army brat. Her mom was in the Army for she was in the military for 33 years and her dad for 29. So she's got that background in there, and which may explain some of her, as she put it, some of her rebellious nature. But anyway, all right. So going on, what did you have next, Kelsey, that you wanted to ask Rosie?
So, next up, Rosie here is a brand ambassador, and usually when you hear that title, you think of clothing or shoes or what?
Nah, we don't want to we don't want to mention who she's the one brand ambassador for.
Hey, what about?
No. I'm just kidding. Yeah, she does a lot of brand ambassadorship, but she can run down the list, and she knows which one that we can't mention.
Yes.
So I'll let you run down who you're a brand ambassador for.
About to talk about?
Okay.
No, you're good. You're good. You're fine. Kelsey's like looking around, like, is there somebody to come out of the woodwork or something like that? So it's top secret. If we told you, we'd have to kill you.
Yeah, that's right. So, I'm still having a hard time hearing what she's saying.
Here, I'll lean closer. Is that better?
Now we could just see her forehead and an eyebrow. I'm number one. Just so y'all know out there, I'm number one. Just so y'all know.
So, without touching on, who we can't mention, I will say, so, aside from the pinup that I do, I appear in many, believe it at this, that I've been published over 30 times, I think is the count now that I'm at. So very, very blessed to appear in a lot of different magazines. So, just follow my page and you'll see where I am and where I'm appearing. But as far as brand ambassador work, my favorite brand ambassador work is with Rods by Ludwin, which is a rat rod company, a rat rod builder out of Albany, New York. And I've been connected with Jason for several years. I've appeared in posters with his builds, and I also participate in the builds by, I'm a seamstress, so I do all of the interior of his different builds. So I work together with Jason and with the sponsor, and we come up with some really cool out-of-the-box creative ideas, and then I put his vision into works and do the interior for the cars. So that's really, really cool. I absolutely love doing that. And the latest build that we built last year is actually what took me to SEMA. So it's pretty cool to see this project that you had this little piece of, being featured at a stage like as big as SEMA. So in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it must be cool to feel
a part of something so beautiful and so, like, big, promoted. Like, I don't know. Seamstress is, like, such a cool job when you know the inners and outers of cars and I dig it.
Is that the technical term, inners and outers? Is that the technical term?
All three of those were words, so
Oh, okay.
I stand by them.
Okay. What you have to understand, Rosie, working with Kelsey and even working with Brianna, they have their own dictionary. So we have Kelsey-isms and we have Brianna-isms. So it's always an adventure, but it's fun. You know that I just
out 2021.
Yeah, I just thought, my biggest concern is I never want to play them in Boggle or Scrabble because I will lose.
I still can't hear Kelsey. So
Oh no.
you make
She said it would be really. She said it would be really cool with
Am I
the.
super quiet? Is it me or?
Well, yeah, it was funny because she just said it must be really neat knowing the inners and outers of cars and stuff. So I wanted to know if that was the technical terms.
I gotcha. Yes, it is very cool knowing the ins and outs of cars, for sure.
That's funny. All right, well, listen, we got to take a break here to pay some bills with some ads and stuff. So for our sponsors, so we're going to be back in just a couple minutes. So hang tight, guys, and we will be back very shortly.
This is Diamond Dahlia, winner of Hell City Hotties.
And Hall Dan Trill from Iconic Tattoo here in Arizona.
Tune into Sit Hour here on
WBUZ 95, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the Twisted Angels.
All right, and there's Johnny. He's like, I can see like one eye and his hat, and that's it. So,
What's up?
so I seriously, I did not know that you were responsible, really kind of responsible for her getting started in modeling. Because you talked her into doing the whole pinup thing at a car show?
Oh yeah, she just locked herself in the closet.
She just locked herself in a closet. Now, were you still using your Camino at the time, the El Camino at that point, or did you have a different car then?
No, I've had that for 28 years.
Wow, damn. So you've had it since it was brand new.
It's an 84. My father bought it new.
Yeah, I have to give you shit. I was telling her earlier that we all love Rosie, but we just love her because she's married to you because you drive really cool big trucks. And then those of us, like us guys, especially because we used to play with those Tonka trucks, the dump trucks and stuff in the backyard, that was just as kids, but you get to do it as an adult, and how cool is that shit? So we just, everybody's just friends with Rosie so we can be friends with you.
Yeah, I wish I could see you more.
I actually have photographers that I'll say, I'll book a shoot with them, and next thing out of their mouth is Johnny coming?
That's funny. Well, I mean, I guess it depends. Are they asking because they want him to come along, or they're afraid he's going to come along? I mean, there's a difference.
No, they want him to come along.
Okay, all right. Well, see, I wanted to come along too, but I wanted to bring one of those really big trucks.
Actually, Tina was in a big shell. She thought she would, I don't know how to say it. Are we definitely on a commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah. Promise. Yeah. Low self-esteem. Yeah, for sure.
No, wait. Who has low self-esteem, Rosie or Johnny?
No, me.
Oh, you.
I did. I did. Before he encouraged me to do this, yeah. I was
You're insane. That's so amazing. It's not a lot of guys either would take that perspective on it, or be so encouraging or comfortable with things to You know what I mean? So many people want to
I have
hold your
no clue
back
what you
for
mean. You
their
went all over the place on that one.
It's so amazing.
Well, John, honestly, it's good to see you. You and I have chatted a little bit, but we don't really talk as much as Rosie and I do because we have more stuff related with Twisted Angels and whatnot. But Bree and I are hoping to get out there and visit. Obviously we got to wait till all this bullshit passes over and whatnot. So it is what it is, And Rosie hopefully will start doing taking more of an active role with what we're doing out there too, so she can kind of fix whatever's in the water out there. I don't know.
Yeah, don't drink.
What are you smoking?
Don't drink the twisted water out here.
Oh my God. I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I've dealt with some people that you just kind of scratch your head over and whatnot. But I swear to God, we've had more issues with just the industry people out there in Arizona, and it's not. I think it's, and I don't want to make it sound bad, but it's just one of those things that it just seems so much more competitive for what you would consider to be a smaller market than, say, for example, New York. I mean, New York is, very competitive, and the Northeast in general.
I used to live in New York too, actually.
You've lived everywhere.
Yeah, a lot of places.
I do have to say, I think it is a little different. It's been harder to break into. The area out here, I don't know if it's just because, everybody knew Rosie in New York and on the East Coast. So it's been a little bit harder to kind of break into things out here and get connected with, the pinup network. Fortunately, my connection with the car shows is countrywide. So, to say Rosie, a lot of people know me through the car shows, but kind of breaking in and finding photographers out here, it's kind of been a little slow going. So.
Yeah. Well, you just shot with our buddy Tim, one of our feature photographers. So yeah, that was cool. That came out really, really cool. So I'm anxious.
I had a great time.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see the infrared images. I know you showed me a teaser of that one, and that was really cool. What's that? What do you say?
So they're hot.
They're hot. Yeah.
Yeah. He really likes him. Yeah, he likes him.
Yeah. Well, we were talking before the show and even messaging. I told Rosie, and Tim's ears are probably burning right now, but or ringing or whatever because we're talking about him. But he is a really good guy. He's very level-headed. We talked about the fact that photography for him it's a passion of his, but it's not something he relies on to make a living. So he can be a little more objective and kind of cut through the bullshit and everything that tends to come with the industry. That's and every industry has it. It's just I think our industry tends to take a little more personally because of the fact that we invest so much, I guess, in it. On a personal level, it's not like we punch a time clock and go home. No offense, Johnny. I'm just saying. You can kind of leave. You kind of you park the big truck and you go home. You don't really have that in our industry. It's kind of like 24/7. But it's one of those things that I was kind of disappointed with some of the stuff that you hear within the industry in and of itself right now. That's with the virus and whatnot. It's hitting so many people and it's impacting so many of us. Like you were saying, you've got shows that are canceling, and there's tattoo shows that are canceling, and people don't want to do photo shoots. You canceled one because there's some concerns there too. So and like you said, he was really good about it. So that's that's a good thing. He was understanding and whatnot. So it can be very frustrating, but it's nice to see. It's kind of cool, I guess, that you really didn't start doing modeling until about 8 years ago, and you've got how many kids do you have now? You have 5?
We have five kids and 4 grandkids.
Yeah, so I mean that's freaking insane. That's insane, and the thing is, and so is that considered? Well, I mean, you've got the whole. You've got the whole like MILF thing, because I'll say that with Bree, and I have a MILF, I have a MILF at home. So, but I mean, if you're a grandmother, if you're a grandmother, does that make you like an OG MILF or just a G MILF? How does that work, Johnny? Tell me how that works.
That's a gilf.
Gilf.
It's a GILF.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I know.
That's what Tim calls it, too.
That's funny.
Make sure she gets some guy,
What's that?
make sure she has some guy on Tim's post ridicule her about being a grandma.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. A little bit of the controversy out here in Arizona, so.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's either the heat or the water. I swear to God. But but that being said, though, there are some really, really great people out there. I mean, there's some really talented people out there. I mean, Tim's one of them, obviously. We have some really talented people out there, and it's funny too because some of them are, they're full time with what they're doing, whether they're modeling or
students, lawyers, moms.
Well, I don't know that I know any lawyers that are models out there. I think I know a couple models that
It's a variety.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there's so much talent out there that sometimes I kind of scratch my head over how competitive it can be. I guess from that perspective. So, but you're out there to teach them the right way. To get them to chill out and relax and just go to the car shows and have a good time.
Exactly.
And if they don't like it, Johnny will drive his big truck right through their living room. You say, what's that noise? Why is everybody? What's everything shaking on the shelves for? What's going on? You look out the window and say, why is there a big yellow dump truck coming straight for our living room? And it says Tonka on the side of it. I don't understand.
Yeah, they have 7 feet tall tires.
Oh, that's insane. Have you ever done a photo shoot with any of the vehicles that he drives? One of those big monster trucks. Have you ever done anything with any of those?
No, but I would love to.
That's something. Yeah, I was gonna say that's something you've got to do.
Yeah.
You've got to do that before Johnny retires and lets you just do everything for him because he created a monster with you.
Maybe
So.
Caterpillar needs a new brand ambassador.
Well, yeah. Well, the whole reason Johnny got you into modeling because he knew that you would do so well, and then he could retire early, and you could just take care of him the rest of his days, and it'd be all set.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but
We actually saved each other.
yeah. No, I mean we met you guys down in Baltimore. We were talking about it earlier, and everybody loved working with you. We got some pictures of you with a group of girls too, so that was fun. So we all went out to eat and had a good time, and it was really, really cool. So, but yeah, like I said, Bree and I are hoping to get out there this year. We've kind of had to put everything off with our own event series and whatnot, so that kind of sucks. But it is what it is. It's this virus has really impacted so many people in so many ways, and it's really unfortunate because the way this is working, that everybody's going to lose somebody that they know. I think the way it's going at this rate,
There's a statistic that by the end of, I can't remember how many years, but in general, 70% of Americans will at some point contract it.
Mm.
And I think it's only 5% will end up dying. But,
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, I'm sure it'll be a lot more. But, I mean, the point is, statistically, most people will contract it at some point, especially in Maryland, where I live right now. They had already taken multiple precautionary steps, and today they had to lock shit down because nobody was taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Nobody. So they had to close all essential businesses, put a stay-at-home order. I have to file for unemployment, even though I'm gonna have a job when things can reopen. But like I said, because I'm an independent contractor, I don't think I can actually apply, and it's really crazy. And so many people I do believe some people are taking it a little over the top, but
so many people are not taking it at face value or seriously enough for what it genuinely means, and that's what's like. This should have just shut shit down for like 3 weeks. Made everybody everywhere stay inside, no mail, let it kill itself out, call it a fucking day.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it is frustrating, especially for, you know, for us in this industry, because it's impacted, like we said, you know, Rosie had to cancel her appointment, you know, or her shoot, and then, you know, it's impacted so many other people and the events that we do and whatnot. That's all related, especially with us being, you know, involved, especially with the tattoo industry, everything that's connected with that. I mean, you know, it's just, and with Rosie, with your car shows having to be pushed back and whatnot. So that really, you know.
Shops down.
What's that?
They're already shutting tattoo shops down in New York.
Yeah, they started.
Oh no, they're shutting them down. They're already shut down on the East Coast because they're
pretty much all up and down the East Coast. They're shut down. Yeah.
They're sterile for, I mean, yes, they're sterile, but they're sterile for general day. Yeah. You throw a fucking virus that nobody knows how it spreads in the mix. It doesn't matter that you're sterile. You don't know how to protect further against it. You know what I mean?
What did you do with your voice? You sound like you're talking out of a tin can. She just rolls her eye. But no, she's right. I mean, you know, the East Coast, I mean, it started really last week. I know New York and New Jersey were probably the first two states that closed down, and then DC and the Maryland area, Maryland. Pennsylvania was, as of, they were talking about, they were encouraging at the end of last week, but as of today, they were not supposed to be open. I mean, the only places that are open, like, are car... Yeah, and like she said, you know, really the only places that are open here are grocery stores, you know, health-related stuff, and ironically, garages and stuff like that, because they're considered a necessity because of your vehicle and whatnot. So, but again, it's...
You still have to get, like, it's funny that, like, bag boys and cart boys are essential personnel, but it's not like a terrorist attack where everybody needs canned goods. Like, you can still get to the grocery store, you can still cook, you just need to not go out or congregate, you know what I mean? So they are essential personnel. I mean, liquor stores in Maryland are an essential personnel. They passed a law yesterday where...
She sounds like she's talking out of a tin can again. It's a, you know, she's doing that social separation thing with a tin can through the phone.
It's because I'm a robot.
Hey, I'm gonna head out.
All right, well, thanks, Johnny. Appreciate it. And I lied. We recorded you, so you're on the show this week, so you're going to have to deal with it. Because we love you, and you deserve recognition too for just being a really cool son of a bitch, and you drive really cool big trucks.
All
right, we love you. I'll send you once everything gets lifted. We'll send you a really cool bag of like Hershey Kisses or chocolate or whatever from Hershey here. All righty. Well, thank you, Johnny. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Take care, bud.
Right. Peace out.
Peace out. You the man. So, well, yeah, it is really. But yeah, it is really scary with this whole virus thing because you don't know. You know, my mother lives 2.5, 3 hours north of us, and she's in the middle of nowhere. So if something happens with her, and if there's a curfew in place, can we get to her? Can anybody really get to her if there's a problem? So that's definitely a concern for us, for myself and my brothers and my family, and Bree's family's 2.5 hours down, into Maryland. So that can be, difficult to, for them, or even if something happened with us, who's gonna, my brothers are pretty close to us, so conceivably they might be able to, get over here without any problem. But, it is kind of scary. the whole deal.
Sure.
And you don't know when they're going to, say it's good to go or whatever because you just don't know. Oh, Kelsey is breaking out the headphones. Look out, world. And now she froze.
And now she froze again.
But she froze with like her eyes half open with the earphone. I'm sorry. That's just... We love you, Kelsey. We're so glad you're back. We are. Seriously, we are glad she's back. So, but...
Absolutely.
So she's probably gonna. Oh, yep, yeah. She hung up, and she's gonna come back. There she is. Oh, see, we see the ceiling fan. There she is.
Can you guys hear me better?
Yeah, but don't swallow the microphone. Due to the fact that this is a radio show and not a podcast or anything, it's probably a good thing nobody saw what she did with the microphone.
You encouraged it. I mean.
I just said don't swallow the microphone. So we'll leave it go. We'll leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. So not with the getting past the whole virus and whatnot and everything. What is the next thing you have on tap other than the calendar coming out this week finally? But what do you have that you have scheduled coming up here? Hopefully that doesn't get canceled down the stretch. What's your first thing you have coming up?
First thing coming up is going to be May 1st and 2nd. It's going to be Rockabilly Bash in Peoria, Arizona.
And how lucky is it they named it after you?
Yeah, Rockabilly Bash. I will be there with Steady Brand pinup clothing.
Steady Brand. Oh, and yeah, Kelsey was going to ask you about that too. But real quick. So, was the Rockabilly Bash, was that something that has been there, has that been around longer than you've been modeling, or vice versa? Who's been around longer?
The Rockabilly Bash out here, I believe this is their 9th year.
Oh, damn!
I know. But, Viva Las Vegas also has, within Viva Las Vegas, they have the Rockabilly Ruckus. So there's a lot of Rockabilly shows all over. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so Kelsey, you had a question for her about the Steady Brand. What were you going to ask her about that?
Yeah, I did. She said one of her favorite clothing lines and like close friends of hers were Steady Clothing Line, and I just wanted to ask a little more about that because I checked out the page she sent me and their clothes are like hot as shit, on point. I've already placed an order, so
there you go.
Biased here, I guess, but yeah.
So last year at Syracuse Nationals, I got connected with Steady Brand Clothing, and chit-chatting, they discovered I was moving out west, and they are based out here in California, and they said, oh my gosh, we'd love to have you work with us on our West Coast shows. So one thing led to another. We stayed connected, and I did the first show with them just this last November at the Good Guys Car Show in Scottsdale, Arizona in November. So Steady Brand Clothing is a made in the USA brand of clothing line, which I can't emphasize that enough. I'm so proud that everything that comes out of Steady is made in America. They're probably most famous for, it's a men's and women's line of clothing, vintage inspired clothing. The men's line is like the bowling shirts, the classic bowling shirts.
Oh, good, because I'm very vintage, so I guess I can wear that. That's scary that I even know what you're talking about as far as the bowling shirts. That's just.
And Johnny actually wears them, and he loves them.
What? So, and was he wearing one tonight? Because he didn't even. Oh, no,
he was not.
Because all we could see was like one eye and a hat. I mean, part of his hat. That's all we could see. So yeah. He sounded so tired.
He is so tired.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he didn't know he was on air.
Yeah, no, he didn't. We can't.
Yeah, well, That'll teach anybody that thinks that they're not going to be on air next time we talk to them.
Not with the radio friend.
We're never going to be able to convince him of that again. That was like the one and done, unfortunately. So
that is too funny.
So on the women's line, on the women's end of Steady Brand Clothing, they tops, all in that vintage inspired look. So I had 3 shows booked with Steady. I was going to be really busy the month of March and April with Steady, and all 3 of our shows have either been canceled or postponed. So I'm so sad that, I haven't been out there doing more with Steady, but fingers crossed, May 1st and 2nd we'll be at Rockabilly Bash with Steady Clothing. But if anybody is missing us from the shows, I'm sure there'll be a link on the site here to go to their website, and we're offering a huge special, so a discount special. So there's going to be 3 discount codes depending on how much you spend. Type in those codes and get yourself a great deal. You missed us at the show, go out and place an order and come and see me at Rockabilly Bash in your cool clothes and get a picture with me.
Well, yeah, you'll have to make sure we get some of that stuff, too, so we can share that, not only on the radio station, but obviously on, the social media for Twisted Angels and stuff, too.
I've totally got the links. I've got the discount codes. I've got it all lined up. Some of it's on my page, and it'll be on Twisted Radio Show page later tonight. I promise.
I'm sorry, while she was talking, I was laughing because Kelsey's like, she's got a top knot going on, and she's like sitting there playing with it, like checking to make sure it looks good for radio. And I'm thinking, I didn't even do my hair tonight because I figured it didn't matter.
Take a screenshot.
I figured it didn't matter what I did with my hair tonight. So, and for those of you that don't already know, I don't really have any to really, but I thought about spiking my little bit of goatee that I had, but I said, nah, it's radio. I don't have to really get that fancy. And then we sign on, and Rosie's like, she's got her bandana in her hair. She's got the look. She's like rocking the rockabilly thing here, and I'm going, yeah. So I feel like really, underdressed because I've got like a Harley Davidson T-shirt on, and I got my jeans and whatnot. I just don't, it doesn't matter to me. I was like, it's just radio. I have a face made for radio, so I'm good. But yeah, we're really glad, like I said, that we finally got a chance to have you on the show. I know we talked about it for a while, and we finally got you on the show. We got the bonus with Johnny being on the show, so that's really cool. And we got to talk about a lot of stuff really today. We got to talk, we talked about. Well, God, we talked about how you got started. That it's all Johnny's fault. You got started, so he created the monster that is Rosie Rockabilly, and then he, you lived in this area. You moved out to Arizona. We talked about some of the differences there. We talked about how, everything's being impacted by the virus, but we talked about a lot of fun stuff and whatnot, and what you have coming up, and the different brands and people that you work with. And Rosie Strong, yeah, we want to talk about Rosie Strong. Thank you. She's like holding up like the cue card over there, saying, Rosie Strong. We don't forget that. So yes, before we leave, Rosie, you got to tell us about Rosie Strong. Tell us about that. That's really important because it's really important because we said so.
So launched today was my Rosie Strong campaign, and many of us know with what's going on right now with the virus that there is a huge shortage of the masks in the hospitals. So as I mentioned earlier in the show, I am a seamstress. Before I started all this modeling, I've always been a seamstress. So I would go from car show to car show, and I would set up a vendor table, and I would make these rockabilly headbands, and very much like what I have on today. So what that's left me with is a ton of scrap and remnant fabric. So I was kind of brainstorming over the weekend and the evening. I thought, well, I got to be able to do something. I'm quarantined here at home. Many of us aren't going out. I do have a compromised immune system. And I thought, what can I do? And then I kind of got the idea of making these masks out of the vintage inspired, rockabilly fabric that I have left over. So I made a few of the masks, and I went on and I did a video today, and kind of just asking for one, go on my Facebook page, share the video. 2, tag anybody that you know that's in the medical community, so I know where to get these out to. 3, if you work in retail, if you work for Walmart or Hobby Lobby or Joann Fabrics or Michaels, contact me with your supervisors or managers be interested in partnering with me or making a donation of supplies. Basically, I want to donate these, and
she's like, oh God, it's silly. I mean, like, you know.
So they're not for sale. That's the one thing I want to say. They're not for sale. I want to donate these. If you want one, I would be more than happy to make one for you for donation. But any of the money I raise is going to go right back into making masks and getting these out to, hospitals, clinics, volunteer organizations, pharmacies, anybody who needs these masks. That's my goal. So that is Rosie Strong.
Well, that's cool. Now, you said you're predominantly sending them out to emergency workers and stuff like that, right? That's where you're concentrating on sending them to.
Well, that's when I put the video up today. I really want to find out where the need is. So the one thing I do want to stress is the masks that I'm making are not the N95 rated. But from what I understand from several of the medical professionals I have talked to, there is a huge need for the masks like what I'm making for other employees within the hospitals, pharmacies, police departments, ambulance crews, technicians. So then that way, when the N95 masks do come in, because there is a shortage, they can go right to the nurses and doctors on the front line. So I want to get these out to wherever they're going to be needed the most.
That's really cool. That's really, really neat. So, and I'm sure you're doing them in how do I put this? It's something that it's done with a real purpose and feeling behind it, rather than just kind of like throwing it together and whatnot. You really there's a piece of you going out with each one of them that you make.
Absolutely there is. As I mentioned before, I am immune compromised, so I do have to be very careful. And then some of you that do know me, I'm just off of a lengthy hospital stay, so I have to be really careful of who I'm coming into contact with, where I'm going. So when I was really thinking, I guess I want to do something. I want to make a difference here. Rosie Rockabilly has always been about making a difference in our own backyard, making a difference in the community in which we live in. And this was one thing I was really, really passionate about doing this, because I know if it's going to help me, it's going to help somebody else.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, like I said, I'm glad we finally got you on the show. I know it's been a crazy year for everybody, and it's going to be, over the last year, and then obviously 2020 has started off, really rocky and whatnot. So, glad we got you on the show, and we hope to see you more often. We hope that everything, kind of, slows down so we can kind of get back to our normal way of life, at least as normal as we can. Obviously, I think this kind of impacts everybody to the point that's it's going to change, how some people do things. Hopefully, enough people, that change how they do things. And a lot of it, unfortunately, if you really think about it, is just common sense. So hopefully,
absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully we can just get people to use a little more common sense, and we don't have something like this happen again. So, but so something like this, maybe we needed the proverbial, kick in the ass to realize that, we weren't, doing the common sense thing, and it's unfortunate that it had to be on such a widespread level. It's really crappy. Yeah. And I think it's unfortunate because as we talked about it before, that we're all going to know somebody that is impacted from it. Whether they contract it or
statistic wise, we all will be affected.
Yeah, or we all suffer some type of loss as a result of it. There's a friend of mine, a photographer out in the Pittsburgh area. He's lost 4 people that are close to him already, and 2 of them are from the virus. I don't know what the other 2 were. I don't remember, but 2 of them are from the virus. So, and that's scary, And we've got people that we have friends of ours that her son has a lot of breathing problems to begin with, and so she's really scared for him. And
predisposed conditions.
Yeah, and he was having some additional issues, and she took him to the hospital, she called the doctor, And they said, well, if it gets worse, bring him in. And she's like, how can it get any worse? I mean, he's,
If you're calling,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
worse.
So it's just, and I get it. You don't want people just, running there because they feel like they've got, an itch in their throat. You want them to, be.
You don't want the cry wolf.
Well, yes, there's that, and the people that are just, really scared for it. So it will, what's the word for it? It will take up time. For the health workers that are out there, that would be better spent to somebody that is definitely has it, and it's an advanced situation. So it's such a thin line to walk on that one, and I feel badly for the healthcare workers that are put in that position that they have to differentiate who's more important at that point. And I have a good friend of mine that's a doctor in Houston, and she's been putting in 12-hour days at 2 different hospitals, and she's a single mom, and her biggest concern is that, what if she contracts the virus?
And then she goes home to her kids.
Well, there's that, and she's like, how am I going to take care of my daughter? Help her with her doing her schoolwork and whatnot if I'm doing that. And so there was all of that, but here's the thing that really struck me was this. If we have health workers that get sick from this because they're on the front line, okay, then obviously they're taken off the front line, right? So what does that mean? That means we have less healthcare workers dealing with more sick people because we already know there's going to be more and more cases. So as there's more and more cases, we're gonna have less and less
exponentially.
Yeah, we're gonna have as we have more and more cases, we're gonna have less and less people to help them, and that's a scary thought, really. So, hopefully, thoughts and prayers or, whatever, everybody believes in and whatnot, higher power, we can get through this, with minimal impact and kind of move forward in a positive direction and, hopefully, use a little more common sense as we move forward. But the fact that you're doing the Rosie Strong is awesome. Yeah, that's great. I know that you're really.
If you want to donate to that, check out our page or Rosie Rockabilly's page.
Yeah.
Twisted Hour Radio Show page, and you can do. Even $1 helps. So anything you can spare anywhere.
Yeah.
Promotion of the masks. Rosie is donating.
Share the video.
Anything. Just do what you can because it affects everybody. No matter how close to home it might feel far away at this point, it will get closer.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be affected by this. So if you can, for free, share a video, share a post, share a donation page, then do it, please.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that being said, what I am doing, our song today, because at the end of every show that we have, we introduce a new song by different artists and stuff like that. And ironically, the band that we are going to be sharing a song of, after we lead out and we do our closing and whatnot, but is actually by a band called Veterans Avenue. And it's headed up by our good friend Brad Cox, who was in. I originally knew him from the band Schizo Calypso back in the day, and Brad and I have been friends for a long time, and he's got so many music projects. He's so very talented. He's got them. He's got We Are the Underground and all kinds of stuff. It's just really, really cool. But the song today that we're going to be sharing and releasing on the radio is called Lead Pistol. So it's a really good song. So we're going to be doing that, and it's Veterans Avenue. So it just kind of ties in everything that we're doing. So, and it's just the way it played out. So that was really, really cool. So it was meant to be they would have Rosie on the show this week, so we could do all that stuff because it's all related to the veteran stuff. So we're just cool like that. So
absolutely.
But again, Rosie, we want to thank you for being on the show this week. I really, really appreciate it. We love you and Johnny. Miss you out here on the East Coast, but I know you get back here occasionally, so we'll see you when you get back. And you guys just stay warm in Arizona because it sucks here on the East Coast right now with freezing rain. So, and we hate you for that, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I love you guys. So.
All right. Well, you take care and
sunshine your way.
All right. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate you being on the show, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Hi. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Okay.
string, competitive like a freak. Take my hand, the attitude will reach. No, that's just like a dream. Call me get it like a freak. Take my
Hey, this is Drea on a Dream with Twisted Angels, and you're tuning in to Twisted Hour here on WBUZ95.com. Tune in Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for more.
All right, and that is it for this week. I want to thank Rosie Rockabilly yet again for being on the show this week. I know it was really great having Kelsey back this week, and having Rosie as our first guest, and all the stuff that we covered today. A lot of really cool stuff. And we have we're going to lead you into some music here by our friend Brad Cox on Veterans Avenue. But again, like I said, we want to ask everybody to make sure you tune in this week, and we look forward to everybody tuning in again next week.
Yeah, be sure to keep an eye out. We're going to have a sneak peek of next week's guest. And like every week, we'll feature some new music again Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Yeah, 8 p.m. right here on WBZ 95. You can find us online, WBZ95.com, or you can go to the Orange Radio app. And when you go to the Orange Radio app, you can look up the radio station, but WBUZ 95. Man, it's a tongue twister day. WBUZ95.com. Mark them or pick them as a favorite, and you'll be able to tune in anytime. There's lots of cool shows on the station, as well as lots of great music. So we look forward to seeing everybody, or having everybody see us or listen to us next week. So y'all have a great week. Get twisted. And again, we thank Kelsey for being on the show. Thank you very much for coming back. And we are going to lead into Lead Pistol by Brad Cox and Veterans Avenue.
If that was the